close enough to start a war. All that I have is on the floor. God only knows what we're fighting for. All that I say, you always say more. I can't keep up with your turning tables under your thumb. I can't. So I won't let you close enough to hurt me. No, I won't let you to just desert me. I can't give you the heart you think you gave me. It's time to say goodbye to turning tables. To turning tables. Under haunted skies I see. Ooh, when I was lost, your ghost is fine. I'll break 100 stones to leave you. As hard as you try, no, I will never be knocked down. I can't keep up with your turning tables under your thumb. I can't. So I won't let you close enough to hurt me. No, I won't let you to just desert me. I can't give you the heart you think you gave me. It's time to say goodbye to turning tables. To turning tables. Next time I'll be braver. I'll be my own savior. The thunder.
Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And Austin again, live to give another broadcast. And the title of my broadcast today is going to border on merchants and scammers within the TBC community. So welcome everyone to my broadcast. And I'm a TBC member and a broadcaster. I've made it my responsibility to make sure that I give a broadcast to everyone within the TBC community. Now, there are two things that we're going to border upon this year, one of which is cash flow, and the second, merchant adoption. One of the blogs that the admin gave, I think last year, that the ending of last year, that's looking forward to 2019. One of the things was on bringing in merchants within the TBC community, and also a bordered on making sure that there are members that brings in TBC and makes it a full-time job. And most of the broadcasters within the TBC community has been talking about consistent cash flow. Now, my part within the TBC community is to let information known to each and every one of us. And if you are interested in coming into the TBC community, you could also come in, learn how to cash flow, inform yourself about TBC, because it's a system that is moving slowly but steadily out of the financial system, the current corrupt financial system, into a system of abundance where it is purely controlled or independent of the global elite. Now, it's likely that I'm going to be having a fellow broadcaster that will also feature or as a host within my broadcast, within a period of time, within this short period of time. It's going to be for the next 30 minutes. And in order for me to begin, I would please ask that if you enjoy my video, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And anytime you subscribe, don't forget to click on the um, subscribe button. And then when I have videos to give, you will get a tick or a prompt on your phone or on your system, as the case may be, so that when you have a chance, you could take your time and then watch the video. My limit would always be 30 minutes. Maybe I may have a number of things to say and I may exceed 30 minutes slightly. When those kind of things happen, please, you would pardon me. All right, now let me begin officially. I said we're going to border on merchants and scammers within the TBC community. That reminds me, we know about this Canadian guy. This Canadian guy that recently gave up the ghost. Would I say gave up the ghost or died? I don't know. I don't know if he really died. But before I go into talking about merchants within the TBC community, I want us to have a look at that particular. Um, I want us to have a very good look at that particular article. Now, I'm going to share my screen with us, and then we're going to read it together. And after that, we'll now move into the scammers within the TBC community. And then finally, we now go into the merchants within the TBC community. So let me share my screen. All right, so this is it. Now, let's quickly read it together. And the title is Canadian Cryptocurrency Firm CEO Dies in India, taking password taking password to 190 million with him. That's to say, when he died, he was in custody of the password of um, of coins worth 190 million. Now, before we even begin reading about it, there is a question I would ask, and the simple question is this: Was he the only person? Was he the only person that is in charge of all this information? Does he have a wife? If he does have a wife, should she not also have these informations with her? I think he should be privy to such kind of information. Another thing I also want to ask, doesn't he have a support team? Is he the only person managing it? Another thing I also want to ask is, what's the total number of people that are within that his own cryptocurrency space? Saying that he's the CEO, are the number of users up to 1,000? Are they up to 20,000? Are they up to 50,000? You know, I'm trying to imagine how someone would be able to get 190 million and then die with it without having access to those information up till now. The latest information I have, according to the information I'm seeing here, says that they are still working on trying to get the informations or the passwords. All right, so let's quickly read through together. Uh, Now, this is a story worthy of a firm script, which will doubtless be realized. A 30-year-old CEO of a Canadian cryptocurrency firm reportedly died in India from complications from Crohn's disease and intestinal inflammation disorder, taking with him passwords that has locked up 190 million in investor cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, top security experts have been unable to unlock the encrypted password, throwing his clients into a tizzy. That's to say, his clients are already fidgeting. They are like, is that how they're going to lose their coins? Well, let's continue reading. The saga just unfolding in the Western media goes back to December when Gerald Cotton, 30-year-old founder of Bodriga CX, died due to complications with Crohn's disease. According to the company and Cotton's wife, Jennifer Robertson, Cotton died while traveling in India, where he was opening an orphanage to provide a home and safe refuge for children in need, the company's social media page said. I mean, the man looks like a philanthropist. I don't know. Let's continue. Now, please, on your own, you could take your time if you are more interested in these information. I know it is old news, but I'm actually bringing this out to reference something concerning TBC. So please stay with me. Let me continue. News of his death became public only after Robertson and Quadriga CX filed for credit protection in Canadian court, saying they are unable to access Cotton's encrypted account that held his assets. Now, in a statement posted on its website on January 31st, said Quadriga CX asked the Nova Scotia Supreme Court to allow us the opportunity to address the significant financial issues that have affected our ability to serve our customers. Now, for the past weeks, we have worked extensively to address our liquidity issues, now, which include attempting to locate and secure our very significant cryptocurrency reserve held in cold wallets, and that are required to satisfy customer cryptocurrency balance on deposits, as well as sourcing a financial institution to accept the bank grants that are to be transferred to us. The company said, adding, unfortunately, these efforts have not been successful. Now, online forums are boiling with conspiracy theories, including whether Cotton has died at all, if the whole operation is a scam, and why he would travel in India if he had Crohn's disease, given the country's dodgy drinking water issues. Now, is there any evidence to say that he ever went to India? One poster asked on Reddit. Now, you must keep going back in time until one verifiable fact is produced, and then moving forward from there, I feel for a group of alleged gunmen, we are taking a lot of the story at this at their word. No, let me read that again. Now, I feel for a group of alleged gunmen, we are taking a lot of the story at their word. No. Now they're trying to say this thing that they are saying it just could be bullshit. I don't know. Now I have friends in India looking up all infos they have about a Canadian who died around Juba in local newspaper. We'll keep you posted. Another Volunteered another posted. That is another man posted, another lady, I don't know. Now, the bottom line I'm actually driving at is simple. We've actually read about a person who is a CEO. Now, let's liken it to the issue of TBC. Now, TBC is a cryptocurrency, and we all know it. TBC is not in the coin market cap. TBC is a community-based currency, and it is based on POM, which is proof of membership. Most coins that are in the coin market cap, especially Bitcoin, which is our model coin, is based on proof of works. Proof of work, POW. Our own is POM. Now, we understand that Bitcoin system was built on a kind of system like gold, limited. Our own is also limited. But you see, our own is based on what effort you make to be able to be given a certain amount of Pringles. When you redeem it, you are getting TBC. That's to say, if you purchase 10 to 40 grains of gold upwards, you'll be given an equivalent amount of Pringles. Now, it's only 40 or multiples of 40 grains of gold that will qualify you to become a billionaire within the TBC community. In previous times, which is as at last year, admin was doing it in such a way that to be a billionaire, you need to do a broadcast. And after doing a broadcast, then you will watch a broadcast, which is the send button meeting. The first one is watch a send button meeting. Second one, do a broadcast. Third one, do a transaction of at least $100. Then you are qualified to get one TBC. But you see, after admin carried out some examinations, he found out that the total number of people within the TBC community are not even up to 1 million that are billionaires. So he has decided to allow this 1 2019 as an opportunity for anyone that purchases $100 to get at least one TBC. Now you could go $400, $200. You are not limited to $100. You can increase it. And I am also a seller. If you're interested, please feel free to contact me. I can engage in a transaction with you, and you will get your TBC as the case may be. Now, back to this particular thing. Now, what do you think? This is not something that is ever going to happen. But let's assume if this was the condition of TBC admin, God forbid, it shall never be. But now let's give that as an instance. Supposing this kind of thing happens, what happens to the total number of people within the TBC community? It's a very simple thing. Now, for me to answer this question, let me quickly take us to the blog. I'm sure a good number of us may not have looked at this particular instance in the blog. Now, this is the blog. It's coming up. A good number of us should make time out to watch or read the information on this blog. Okay? Now, the one I want to take time to look into is who is the creator of the Billion coin. I wouldn't read it in details. I'll just read a small paragraph. And once I finish with that paragraph, then I think that title will be closed. Then I'll check to see if my host is available. If he's available, fine. We'll discuss a little on it. If he's not available, I will continue. Now, this is about Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay? On your own, you could take time to read through. But I'm more interested in one particular place. Okay, let me just read this particular place. And then I'll stop here. Now, the lack of an official Bitcoin leader has also been an asset in the regulatory arena. A key argument for Bitcoin is that no one owns the Bitcoin network, which means there is no way to regulate it. Now, had Nakamoto's identity been known a year ago, he might have been dragged before Congress to testify at last fall's hearing on the future of Bitcoin. Nakamoto might have faced pressure from regulators to change Bitcoin to make it easier to regulate. But with Nakamoto out of the picture, the leader of the Bitcoin community could truthfully say that no one had the authority to change Bitcoin's rules. Now, that forced policymakers to accept the system the way it was and adopt policies to accommodate it. It's on this same concept that TBC is going to thrive. Now, what particular one? The one I'm concerned about is this particular last paragraph. The leaders of the Bitcoin community, now, it's no more going to be Bitcoin community, it's going to be TBC community. I'm now rephrasing it. The leaders of TBC community could truthfully say that no one had the authority to change TBC rules. Now, why do we say so? Because the system has already been laid out that we are going to build from 0 to 1 billion members, and we have an algorithm, a computer-based algorithm that says that our value is pegged to the market value of gold, and we increase in direct proportion to the people that come into the community per day. And those people are known as grains of gold. And when we have added it up to the total number of grains of gold, we check it against the market price value, and we get our value for that day. And that value never goes down. That's our agreement. Now, that's forced policymakers. So as of now, Bitcoin is having the upper hand because they are more in numbers and they are like 10 years ahead of us. We are almost 3 years old. By next month, we should be 3 years old. Now, you can't compare a 10-year-old child to a 3-year-old child. That's not possible. But what I'm trying to say is that by the time we are the time or as old as Bitcoin, then policymakers will have to accept the system or the policies that TBC has already created. Yes, a good number of people may still be looking at us and calling us a scam. That's okay. But you see, over time, because we are consistent and we are self-subsistent, we are self-regulated, they would have no other choice than to accept this system. Now, let me continue. Now, if the man Newsweek identified today proves to be real Satoshi Nakamoto, the question is whether he's been away from the project long enough that Bitcoin will continue to be seen as truly outside anyone's control. I think the answer is probably yes. Now, there is now a significant community of Bitcoin developers who have grown used to managing the currency without Nakamoto's input. They probably wouldn't defer to him the way they would have in 2011. Now, but just to be on the safe side, it would be smart for Nakamoto not to rejoin the Bitcoin development community anytime soon. Okay? Now, let's go to the final one. This is the final one. Let me read it out, please. Now, so when other people ask you, who is the creator of TBC? You can say it doesn't matter who, because TBC is a true cryptocurrency. It is completely decentralized. Now, we never have to worry about a company changing things or losing our money because because as a TBC coin owner, it have just as much right as the next TBC coin owner. And the price of TBC only grows up in value. There is somewhere I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm trying to get. Hold on, please. Let me see if I'm able to get it. I think it's this particular one. Where admin was trying to talk about a group of people. Hold on, please. Okay, I think it's this one. Now, some persist in asking, who is the creator of the billion coin? The answer is not that simple because the creation of the billion coin is a result of a team effort. Now, the bottom line of what I'm trying to drive at is that even if the worst case scenario comes in, the TBC admin is not one person, it's a group of people. So all of them share the same information, so that it is not in the custody of only one man to have those information. If you can remember, there was a admin talk to manage about 50 million, something like that. He clearly said that there is department, there is the administrative department, there is the help desk, there is the commissioner, there are the programmers, there is also the banking, something like that. The banking, let me see if I'm able to, no? It's like I'm not able to get it. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to get that particular one. Particular one, I didn't want to know that they are within the TBC community and department organized. It's not possible for the system to ever go down. Now, in the area of scammers within the TBC community, before I continue, let me quickly come up yet. Now, scammer community. We are coming to see that within the community are now become now by scammers. Scammers are people which is well secure and we are safe. That's one thing. We are secure, we are safe. There are different departments, and those departments are working in unison that we are able to million member TBC community. Okay. Now, scammers within the community. Let's move into the merchant side. On this merchant side, I want to border on Nigeria because that's the native country of mine. And we are growing very well. We have a number of countries. But when we look into some of these countries, let me move into a country like Lagos. Now, one thing that we should understand, please, members within the TBC community, I want us to hear. If you are going to be a member in the community, it is not yet free. Stand this. TBC is not yet 100% liquid. Now, if TBC is not yet 100% liquid, it clearly means that TBC, you can't exchange it for goods and services at 100% rate. Now, as a businessman, you should be able to do a rollout or you should do a replenishing. If you are selling accessories like phones and those phones worth 100,000, those phones and you are saying, okay, my cost price for buying those phones are maybe, and you choose to sell it for 100,000, fine, that's a good one. Now, if you want to say, I want to sell a section of it for Kringles and a section of it for cash, you know very well that you cannot sell it anything lower than 70,000. Meaning that 70,000, if you sell it lower, you wouldn't be able to go back to buy the phone again. You'll be running on a loss. I hope we understand. So therefore, in order to make a gain of 30,000, then or less than 30,000, you could make a gain of 20,000. Now, if you're going to make a gain of 20,000, originally you are selling it for 100,000. You can decide to say, okay, the phone that is now 100,000 as my selling price, I could choose to sell it for, instead of 100,000, I could choose to sell it for maybe 80,000. Now, you bought it by how much? 70,000, and you are selling it how much? 80,000. Now, how much gain have you made? You've made a gain of 10,000. The other 20,000 is now going to be sold in Kringle values. So you could afford to say, I'm selling it 80%, 80% cash, 20% Kringles. Now, 80% cash, 20% Kringles, it clearly means that you are selling it at a selling price of 100,000, but you are now saying it is 80% cash and then 20% Kringles. Now, people who see it will be like, okay, previously this person was selling it 100,000. Now he's selling it 80,000 cash, 20,000 Kringle. Now you are making a gain of 10,000 originally, meaning that it can afford you an opportunity of going back to buy another set of phones, and you are not going to be running on a loss even if inflation occurs. Now, when inflation occurs, it will take a while, it won't happen immediately. Even if inflation occurs, maybe the inflation could be like 2,000, 3,000 inflation, you are not going to run on a loss because you'll be buying it in bulk. Now, if you're able to use this illustration and generalize it, you will find out that people within the TPC community are actually scamming others. Why do I say they are scamming others? A phone that is worth 100,000. Now, they bought it for 70,000. Now, they were supposed to sell it originally at 100,000. But instead of them to make gain, for them to make their gain, how they will do it is they will be selling the phone for 150,000. 150,000, they'll be saying 100,000 in cash, and then the other 50,000 will be in Kringle. So you see, they are not only making 100% gain, they are making 100% gain on the product they are selling to you, and also they are making Kringles from you free of charge. So what does it mean? They are making the value of our currency worthless because they are only scamming you of your coins. And after they scam you of your coins, they will still scam you of your own money, your own hard-earned money. Now, let's see if we can move into the TBC community and see some of those merchants. Any merchant that is accepting goods and service at anything less than 50%, you can see him as maybe a scammer. Because for him to be selling 80%, 70%, 60% goods, not services, goods, that clearly means that the person, if he's not a manufacturer, then that means the person may be playing a scam or he's doing something dicey or questionable. Now let's move into this merchant. The merchants are quite much. The first one is running on 100%. What does he deal on? He deals on TBC Kringles, trading, and training, which is 100%. Well, 100% what? Is it 100% Kringles? Well, if he had a video, he would have clarified, but he doesn't have a promotional video. Now let's move into the next person. TBC, 60%. Well, if he had a video or she had a video, we would have made no promotional video. So these things are not very clear. That's one problem most of us are doing. We are not able to explicitly explain what we do and a promotional video to give us proper guidelines. Okay? Now let's look at the next person. This one is Cash for Fortune, a distributor only. What does he deal on? General. What does he mean by general? He's not defined. I think this is also questionable. So many of us are not understanding what it means to be a merchant. Well, some of us are thinking this is a child's play. Now, this other person, what's the person's name? Everything TBC, BTC mining on mobile device, not clear. This is undefined. Bitcoin mining training live on Telegram app. What does he really mean by that? 100%. It's not clear. So some of us have to sit down and modify, and there is no promotional video. So many of us need to work on our presentation, on how we write this thing. Everything TBC Nigeria, what does this person mean? Participation level 100%. Admin clearly said that the participation level is 100% Kringles, meaning that you're accepting 100% Kringles. Well, it's up to them to define. Now, these things make it such that our system looks like a child's play. Our system is not a child's play. So most of us should understand this and do the right thing. Now, a number of us has come to me and has told me that GMC are one of the people that, even though they are making waves within the community, they are charging exorbitant amounts. I am not saying this to defame him or defame them. No. What I'm saying is that they should do the right thing so that the community can be organized. You can't tell me that in our TBC community, you are buying a bag of rice for 33,000, whereas in the real fiat system, you are buying the bag of rice for within 12 to 15,000. No, you can't say that you are buying a 100% bag of rice for 33,000 and then in the real world with at least 12 to 15,000 you can get it. So what are we doing? Are we doing the right thing? Let the TBC community judge. I am not here to talk bad at anyone, but I think it's high time that we do the right thing. We should do the right thing and become much more organized. Okay? Now, I can say this person is reasonable. Now, this person clearly said Leotu powder cocoa, Leotu pure cocoa powder. Now, natural health drink, he or she has defined it. Category is product, very good. And the person has said it is what? Shelf price at what? 22,000. Now, in this 2,000, the person has said 40% of it will be in Kringles, and then the other 60% will be in cash. So if you calculate 60% of 2,000, I think 60% should be 1,200, if I'm not wrong. And the other $800, sorry, 800 naira is going to be in Kringles. So this is a very defined system. If you want to call the person, the phone number is clearly written there. Now, if the community could follow this concept, you will see that the TBC community will become more serious. This one goes in 50%, okay? This is web construction and maintenance. That's okay. This is not goods. This is what? Services. It's okay to maintain 50%. Now, this one is 50%. This is also goods. And at 50%, it could be locally produced, which is not bad. Okay? Now, this one has to do with aluminum scrapping, 50%. Now, these are people that are ready to do business. And I'm sure that they will be having customers within the TBC community. This is 30. Okay, this is also okay. Now, the community has not grown to the point it has become independent. It could take a while, but we can start between 10% to at least 50%. and it could bother for maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. Then after 2 years, we would have grown enough such that we can easily exchange grain goods within the TBC community. And by then, it would have come to the producers or the manufacturers. And then we can sell TBC to them, and those institutions will begin to come in, and life will start being bred into the TBC community. I don't want to bother so much on this. I've talked about it enough. Now, we have an idea of those people now that are the TBC scammers. Now, they may be corporate members, in quotes, but they are scammers in the sense that they are not helping the TBC community to grow forward. They are not helping the TBC community to become more organized. When people come into this kind of systems and they see this kind of things, they'll be like, TBC is not ready. So please, TBC community members, let's take the necessary corrections so that we can move forward as a community. Okay? Now, I think I'm going to stop here. I wouldn't want to talk about the rest of them. Now, the final thing I'm going to discuss about are merchants within the TBC community. Now, if we look into this system, we'll see that merchants are almost everywhere. Now, I'm actually concentrating on Nigeria. Now, the total number of merchants that has come in, I think there are 22. Let me confirm it again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now they are 23. Now you see, we are 36 states in Nigeria and we are 23 already. Now, how many more is remaining? 23, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. That is 13 more states. And I'm certain that between now and the middle of this year, we are going to have 13 states. Most of these people, like the admin said, they are going to come in small. Most of them may be entrepreneurs, individuals, they want to sell their crinkles. And at a certain point, young and small organizations will start coming in. At a certain point, institutions will start coming in. I give this project between now and the end of next year. I am so sure that between now and the end of this year, we're going to be having nothing less than 2,000 to 5,000 merchants in Nigeria alone. Now, what would it look like when the global community has come into this system? Well, I would stop here. I want to see if my host was able to come in. If he was not able to come in, then I think I will call it quits at this point. So if there was anyone that wants to ask questions within the TBC community, I don't know. Let me see if there are people who want to ask questions. Well, there is no one that is available to ask questions, but please, for those of us that attended my live broadcast through to the end, feel free, like my video, please, if you can, subscribe, and I'll be here again by I'll be here again by Friday, same time. It's going to be 4:30 or 5 o'clock. All you need to do is do your subscription, subscribe to my channel, and once I'm live, you're going to get a prompt on your Android phone, your Apple, or your system, as the case may be. Thank you very much for audience. You guys are the best. You guys are wonderful. TBC community, I want us to understand. Yes, we may have a long way to go. I know we have a long way to get to 1 billion. But one thing is sure, the 1 million billionaires, they are definitely going to be covered up this year. Once it is covered up this year, that opportunity goes and it does not come back again. So it's now up to you, TBC community. If you want to be a billionaire, feel free. Join this moving train. And for those of us who still want to do cash flow, please, the Billion Coin Academy is still available. Feel free, do your normal registrations, your name, your email address, your phone number, your class, pick the class you want, and the gender, okay? So I think I'm going to stop here. This is the Crinkle community logo. If there are any questions you have, feel free, send me an email address. My email is thebillioncoinacademy@gmail.com. Send me information, or you could go to inquiry. Under the inquiry section, make your inquiry, put in your name, your email address, and the message you want, and submit. And immediately, within 24 hours, you get a response. All right, thank you very much. You guys are wonderful for listening, and I'll be here again, same time by Friday, most likely 4:30 or 5 o'clock, or 5:30 as the case may be. If I'm able to finish from on time at my place of work, then it will be 4:30. If not, then it should be 5 o'clock. Thank you very much, TBC community members. I really appreciate your time with me. God bless you. We shall see you again Friday. Bye for now.